Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me tonight from the Ace Per Head, we got Curtis. Curtis, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm feeling really good because you know what? It wasn't me screwing up the tech side this time. Man, that it
That's
feels
true.
refreshing, man. That's usually me
Yeah,
jacking it up. I still got plenty of time on the show to screw it up, so I better keep my mouth shut.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, everyone that's in the chat, I see Dolphin Thirsty in there, brother. I got you. Appreciate you letting me know there's no more problems because we had some technical issues here earlier. So appreciate you pointing that out, man. And thanks for joining the show. And thanks for everybody that's joining the show tonight that's in the chat. Everybody that's from other platforms, wherever you're at, I welcome you tonight. Thank you. Come over here to this side, over here to the YouTube channel side, so you can hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that bell down there and share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. I see Cap for Life's in here. How you doing, brother? Thank you, Cap, for joining tonight. So yeah, man, another catastrophe of a game with the Miami Dolphins. I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I'm in the right business, Curtis. I mean, this Miami Dolphins football team is really got me is really got me frustrated, man. It's got me. I don't know how to explain it. Numb, frustrated. Yeah, it's all in one ball. I'm just tense, disappointed. You name it. All the emotions.
Oh, I know.
Curtis, how you feeling, man? How you feeling about this
Well,
team?
I want to piggyback off that little take of yours. I just I feel for Dolphins fans, and I understand why they feel the way they do, but it feels almost like when you do content coverage, if you're not a hopium pusher or a copium pusher or a hater pusher, you're really trying to get to the truth, and that means point out good things and bad things. You're like a used car salesman selling lemons to people, and when you tell them, "Hey, don't buy this car; it's a lemon," they're like, "What? What?" And they go tell your boss, "Dude, this guy won't sell me a lemon. Sell me my damn lemon." And it's just the Dolphin fan base is so tired, so beat down, and it's so difficult to be a fan and to cover this team because it
Yeah.
was bad before, but now with Ross, it's ineptitude and it's crooked. There's just so much dysfunction. And it's just difficult. You can't believe anything. It's like you're constantly looking over your shoulder, like you got PTSD. You never know what to believe is the truth, the story's the truth, the hype's the truth, the hate's the truth. It is such a difficult task, both to be a fan and cover the Dolphins. And it's just, I'm just praying it gets better because it's unfair. It's almost cruel at this stage. So
Yeah. I'm 100% with you on that, and I agree. You gotta have the sympathy for the fans, man. I mean, I've been a fan since 1969, so that's over 50 years. And I seen the good. The Miami Dolphins. I seen the great organization when in the coaching of Don Shula and all the great players we had over the years. Going to the Super Bowl and all the playoffs, the Marino years, So I've seen it all. So I feel for the younger, especially the
uh,
younger generation that hasn't seen a playoff win at all. I mean, hasn't seen what a true football organization that is run like. And that's who I really have sympathy for, and the fans presently. It's terrible. It's they're not putting a good product on the field, and it seems to me that the head boss, the owner of the football team, doesn't care. He can care less, and it's reflecting on the whole front office, the coaching, the players. It's trickling on down, and guess who gets the brunt of it? Guess who's putting out the money to season tickets? Guess who's going to the games? Guess who's traveling to the games? You know, we got a lot of Dolphin fans, loyal, diehard Dolphin fans that are traveling from Miami, from all over the United States, but from Florida as well. And they're going to these games. They're flying, and that costs money. Hotel, your food, your flight to and from the game, and then paying to watch this. It's terrible. It's.
Oh, I put $2,000 in. My wife and I put $2,000 in to fly in. Not just the game itself, but the whole trip and everything. And that was the Buffalo game week 2.
I remember. Yeah, I remember you.
It was an amazing experience. And my wife, she was tall. It was still amazing, even the defeat. But I just can't imagine that. Like, you're constantly going and you're constantly getting this stuff. It's, for me, it was an experience, but it's brutal. It's brutal. It's because it's so expensive and money's so tight these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a sacrifice to go to a game. It really is. And then to make your way across the country to go watch one too as well. Oh. So Fins TV, I see Fins TV's in here. Good morning. Good evening, Sammy. Appreciate you for joining the show tonight, brother. Make sure you all go check out Fins TV. Sammy's a great host over there.
Sammy is great. I love Sammy.
Great guy.
Guys, Adrian and Sammy are awesome, man. You got to check out this stuff. They're quality people. Really.
Absolutely.
I'm like a living bloodhound BS detector. I can usually tell when people are full of crap. And those two guys, I didn't get a sniff, man. They're really good people.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Adrian's in the house from Rainy Day Podcast. Make sure you all go check him out as well. He's not only does the Miami Dolphins, he does wrestling and other stuff too. So he's a busy man over there on his network as well so go make sure you go check them out. So here we go. Let's talk a little bit about the past game, if you want to call it a game, with the Cleveland Browns and the Miami Dolphins. 31-6. 31-6.
31-6, like $1 million,
The Cleveland Browns, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns, and we thought their franchise was bad, and we lost to them 31-6.
I knew he would, though. I knew he would.
Yeah, well, I had predicted
not like that. Not 31-6. I had 19-6 and 19-13.
Yeah, I think I had it 17-13.
I thought we would wet the bed, but I didn't think we'd wet the bed, defecate it, and roll in it, and call our friends to do the same on top of us. So, but that was a little bit of a surprise.
It was a big surprise, man. And
yeah, we got browned on.
Yep, we definitely sure did. We were put in the dog pound.
Yeah,
we were put in the doghouse. But I'll tell you, man. I just got through listening to an interview they had with Richard Incognito. If any of you don't know who he is, maybe some of you younger folk that are listening or watching. He used to play guard for the Miami Dolphins back in, what was it, the 80s, right? Was it the 80s or was it the 90s? I don't remember now.
Yeah, no, it was 2010, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 2010. See, I'm all messed up with my dates and times and things. But yeah, so it was in the 2000s. Huh?
I think 13 was his last year.
Yeah, 2013. That's right. I think you're right. Very good. Bullygate. He was involved in Bullygate. If you don't know the history of Bullygate, go check it out.
Just don't check out the media who told you something and then later on told you. We knew it was lies, but we were reporting it anyway.
Well, you know what? I'm going to mention the name Omar Kelly. I'm freaking sick and tired. Not all of them, but most of these beat writers, man, and they're still pushing the hopium and still, trying to say Miami can turn it around and all this kind of stuff, which is bullshit. I said it, bullshit.
Oh yeah,
they're bullshit.
That's total fantasy.
It's fantasy. It's delusional. This team is not turning it around anytime soon. Trust me. But anyway, so I thought it was a great interview with Incognito because it's a lot. What he said is exactly what the fan base sees. I mean, we see it when Mike McDaniel goes to the podium, when Tua goes to the podium.
I love the cockeyed feet, like he's a little schoolgirl.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever see it?
I saw that one. I saw that one. But it was
That's
great.
bad.
It was great because he was spot on. He was spot on. And my buddy Rob Mosley, Dolphins Thirsty, aka Dolphins Thirsty, is the one that sent me the clip because I didn't see it, but he sent it to me. And when I saw it, I was like, man, that is spot on.
That's
And
tomorrow's
basically,
podcast for me.
yeah. So basically, he was saying, that he, as a football player, him going on the field, to play, he would never look to Mike McDaniel as a leader of men. He's not the guy that he's going to look to lead him into battle, right? Lead him into the game. No, he's not a leader. And the same with Tua Tagovailoa. To be honest with you, he's our franchise quarterback, and he's throwing all his teammates under the bus. Talking about leadership, he wears the big C. He's the highest paid player on the team. But I like what Incognito said. He said basically when he was throwing folks under the bus and he was mentioning leadership when he was talking, he specifically, he feels, was talking about Mike McDaniel. And he can, like, for instance, people, players coming late to meetings and things like that, or not showing up to meetings, right? And then McDaniel saying, "Oh, it's okay. You missed the meeting. That's okay. Don't worry about it." He's the coach. I don't care if it was a player-led meeting, a coach-player meeting, or whatever. He is the head coach of this Miami Dolphins football team. Okay, and then here we are. We're 1-6, right? I'm going to go on a little rant here. I'm sorry.
Go
Curtis.
for it, man. Rock and roll.
Here we are, 1-6, right? And he goes up to the podium making jokes about Tua being the starter, and he won't be. We're going to make sure he doesn't throw 10 interceptions.
Yeah.
What was that all about? I mean,
he did. Yeah.
Fans don't want to hear that crap, man. Tua has thrown 10 interceptions this year in 7 games, 10 interceptions. And people say, well, Tua's not the problem that we lost. No, he's not. He's not the problem. You're right. He's not the problem. But you know what? He's part of the problem. Okay? If he didn't throw those interceptions in those 7 games that we played most of the time, if he didn't throw those interceptions, or he got this offense jump started and drove down and scored and things like that, which he did in one of the games, right? But he's the part of the problem. He's the biggest part of the problem because he's the highest paid player on the team and he's the quarterback. Okay? If he wouldn't have thrown those interceptions, our record would not be 1-6 right now. So he is the biggest problem, in my opinion. Curtis, what say you?
Yeah, I think he's a problem. I don't think he's the biggest. I don't think he's the biggest at all. Look, the reality is football is top-down power distribution. Your owner is the most critical piece, but that's not a football piece. He's the governor that rides the whole engine. The football engine is driven by the GM. The GM has his hands on everything. He drives every major decision. He's the guy who acquires the talent. He acquires the head coach. He's the guy who is the number one leader. And then his second in command is the head coach. And then as you go down the line, in theory, it's supposed to be the quarterback, but the quarterback's the most dependent position. Look at Herbert right now. He was doing so good, and then his offensive lineman, and now he's 4-3. He's looking like crap. He put 18 points. Look at Mayfield get obliterated, and he's on an MVP because he went against a team that had outmatched his offensive line, outmatched his talent. Go look at Daniel Jones, 6-1. Look at Darnold playing out of his mind. Just look across the league at guys that are playing well. I just did I've done a study for several years now on rush attempts. The big brain people have always been in discussion. What does the run game really provide? How much does attempts versus yardage really impact wins? And the truth is, the highest impact is the number of carries. Obviously, you got no quarterback. You got to generate huge yards. But attempts set the high. Look, right now, if you are a top 10 rushing attempt team, you have 8 winning seasons, 1 tied season, 3-3 or whatever it is, and 1 losing season. So you have 10% chance to have a losing season if you're top 10 rushing attempts. If you're in bottom 10 rushing attempts, there's only 2 winning seasons, 1 tied season, and 7 losing seasons. So you have a 70% chance to have a losing season. If the league has moved, it's shifted, the cycles have changed. And I say it over and over again. I'm just a guy who's a German dude who's got OCD, and I study a lot. But I saw it 4 years ago, and I screened it. How does Chris Greer not? All the top teams, notice the Bills switched over, KC switched over, New England switched over, Bolt Strip switched over, Philly. Everybody's moving towards pass balance and amplifying your offensive line, tight ends. It's like, but not us. And so Tua is a piece of a puzzle offense. He's got some weaknesses. He's got some strengths to his skill set, but they asked him to be Dan Marino, and he's not. You're telling me that this last game, Browns versus, okay, here's another one. So you're in the rain and heavy wind, and you're running the Dolphins. You've got a quarterback who's got a little bit of a gimpy arm. He's not the most powerful thrower in the game.
Right.
You're going against a brutal D front, overall pretty good defense, but a brutal D front. You got a sucky offensive line. So the first 11 plays we had, 7, 8 were passes. We had 3 carries, or 3 carries. 3 or 4 carries, 1 inside in the second half, and then 3 to the C and D gap. 1 was a pop run. Conversely, the Browns, they had 3 drives, 13 plays. They had their first pop run on the interior on that 13th play. They ran the ball 9 times. 7 were between the tackles, and 2 were in the C gap. They had 2 big runs. 1 was a stuffed run inside that bounced outside. And then on the 13th, they had the pop. But they took the ball out of their quarterback's hand, and they understood you pound the ball, you force guys to be consistent with their sets. Also, it's a wet ground. It's rainy and windy. Run the damn football. McDaniel didn't start running the football till like late third quarter when you were behind. He's an idiot. He's an imbecile. He is queasy. He literally is Philbin without saying I'm queasy. But that's what we want. Stephen Ross called Joe Philbin a young Don Shula. And look at the people. He didn't get along with Fangio didn't fit here. He didn't get along with Parcells. They couldn't mix and match because he felt awkward around him. He had troubles with Sperano, went behind his back, and he had issues with Flores. What kind of personalities are they? Adam Gase and all his craziness. He's like, oh, he went on and on. I want to thank Gase for being here and thank him. And Philbin and Greer and McDaniel suck up white-collar nerds that don't fit in football. And so Tua, he's had a crappy bottom 5 offensive line since he's been here. And they just can't, they just said incognito that the guys at the top are running it. And I went back to one of his old clips when he was talking about Flores, and he said, Flores is screaming at you, you didn't earn this spot. You shouldn't be here. Who the hell is he talking about? Fitzpatrick. So if he didn't earn the spot and Flores is upset about it, he didn't put him in. So who put him in and inserted him in? Who leaked the fake text about Gailey saying he was fired 2 days after Flores said, I expect all my coaches back? That's what we got to deal with. And Tua, whatever he could have been, whatever it is, it's been diminished. And the whole object is if you're going to get a player, you maximize them, especially your 5th overall pick and your quarterback and a guy you put big money into. But we're stupid. And it's not about, we'll swap out quarterbacks, we'll swap out HCs. Greer will either be the GM or get pulled into the back with Garfunkel and the Money Man and Ross, run things in the background, and then promote Champ Kelly or Marvin Allen, and they'll be controlled by the guys at the top, and maybe we a little bit better, a little bit worse. And in 3 to 4 years, we'll be talking the same thing about a different quarterback and a different head coach. It's the cycle, because we have core dysfunction, and it's not about the quarterback. San Francisco, we got all those picks for Lance and did nothing with them. They lost all those picks and never missed a beat and continued. Now they got Mac Jones, and he's doing great. And us, we can't jack diddly squat.
Yeah. And I agree with a lot of what you said.
I gave you a rant right back.
No, and that's great. I love that. I love it, Curtis. But here's the thing. What do you think? Do you think, does it really matter at this point if McDaniel gets fired at the at the bye week, or
you got to keep him as long as possible to get that pick. That's why they're keeping him. This whole thing has been set up from last year to tank.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're spot on. Now that's the way I see it. In the beginning I was saying, man, fire this guy. Fire him after this last game. I said fire him, but then I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, well, why do we want to fire him? We might get an interim head coach, and they might win 2 or 3 games. So
Ross knows the time of day.
They're doing just fine with it. Keep McDaniel till the end of the year. It's imminent, like Richard Incognito said, it's imminent that he is going to get fired. But I think they're going to keep him in here, and they're going to fire him at the end of the year. Tua, I don't know what's going to happen with him. And look, I may not agree with you a lot of what you say about Tua and everything. I whether we had a good line or not, is it going to help him? Sure, but he's still going to have his limitations. But how you mitigate that is like you said, Curtis, is by running the ball. No matter what quarterback is in there. Look at Josh Allen. He's got James Cook. He's got a good running game. Jalen Hurts, good running game. Lamar Jackson, when he was playing, I don't know what happened to him this year, but they had a good running game with Derrick Henry, right? So so would it help him? Would it aid him? Yes, of course it would. I don't think he has the it factor. I don't think he's gonna get us over that hump, but we'll sure be doing a lot better than what we're doing right now.
Well, but that's the thing, Steve. Everything is everything. To quote Lauryn Hill. If you're not, we didn't maximize Tannehill. He left and had more success. We haven't been to a conference championship since 92?
Yeah,
he
long
left,
time.
Went to the conference championship, multiple playoff wins. Here he couldn't even get to the postseason. And so if you're not, everything we touch here, I could name 4 or 5 pieces that excelled with us. Everything else has been torn down, weakened, thrown to the scrap heap, and not elevated. So if you're not elevating Tua, then you're not elevating anything. Because
for sure, 100%.
So it's just a matter of Look, you take Tua, you maximize him with the right building philosophy. That makes it portable for any quarterback. You get a winning culture. Though you have a winning culture, then you can get better GMs, you can get better coaches, you can get better talent, and you string together success and a winning way. And then you could have had Mayfield, you could have had Jonald. You could have had all these guys, but you're not smart enough to see them there. And even if you brought them here, they would have sunk in the black hole that we built. So the problem is, Tua is a symptom of the larger hole that we're inept. We are unscrupulous and inept. And there's no doubting. I've fought people for years over it. How many people are really not saying that's true now? 21, you're crazy. Flores, I had someone say to me today, great guy, I love him too. Flores was a monster. And you work for PsyOps. I've studied this for 15 years. Right. How language and technology influences the conscious and, more importantly, the subconscious for directing people's reactions. He's a monster. Did he kill anybody? Did everybody hate him on the team? A monster? Think about that term. That is such a pejorative created to build a narrative. Meanwhile, you got Ross sitting at the pulpit or the podium saying, Tua's our guy. He's reading a script. Unless the new coach wants to go to a different direction, and he's got Peyton and Brady in the back. How come this guy's not been like feet put to the fire? He lied to us.
Yeah.
How come Greer, who's a total scumbag liar, who got rid of Van Noy to spite Flores and didn't have the balls to come out and say it? Maybe he deserved it. Maybe he didn't, but you lied. But he's the monster. There's only two monsters that I could possibly say, and that would be Greer and Ross, because there's so many dead bodies around him. They've got Parcells, who got besmirched. They got Sperano. They got Dornapani, who had to get out of here. Ireland was terrible. Gase was terrible. Incognito was terrible. Tannehill, Tannenbaum, Flores, Boyer, Fangio, now Tua, McDaniel. They've got bodies everywhere, and the last thing we heard about Greer is that somebody said that his kid wanted his kid to die, and that was the last thing he said. He walked off, and then you heard his father die. You don't think that's on purpose to create a sympathetic last image? It's all psyops and mind control.
100%, Curtis.
Anybody who's listening here, just go do two things if you want, unless you want to be a slave. Tavistock Institute, Edward Bernays. And then I did on my recent podcast, I talked about it. Do you understand that the blue light behind your computer and your cell phone is constantly setting you to an alpha state? If the blue screen is subtly putting you in a trance-like state so they can insert things into your subconscious. If you don't understand, why do you think the Dolphins, who suck the most, had the second highest paid media department? And Ross and Greer continually walked through in Teflon. And Fangio, he was a nasty old man who didn't know how to coach. Nobody liked him. He wanted out of here anyway. Like every single time, it's the same thing. And now, my last podcast is McDaniel and Tua are taking a visit on Flores Lane. They're getting the deal. It's the same thing. Vilification, hero, the poor, victim, and then the villain when they screw up. And every single time, Greer and Ross and co, they come out unscathed. A monster? This guy didn't kill people. He hurt Tua's feelings and a couple of players. There's loads of players that loved him. We had more success with less talent onto him. Maybe that was I'm not saying he was the best. He definitely went the wrong route. He went Brooklyn. He went Warpath. But what drove him there? He wasn't like that.
Yeah, exactly.
His side never gets covered other than he's a monster bad guy. He's got dead bodies in the basement. And now McDaniel's an idiot. He's half gay. He's an idiot. He can't lead men, and he's stupid. And Tua, he's a coward, and he's got weak character. He's a loser, and he's a bum. But they were the gods 2-3 years ago.
Exactly. 100%, man. And you made a great point, man. You made a great point about the media department. The Miami Dolphins, I don't think a lot of people know that. Can you say that again, Curtis, about the Miami Dolphins media department?
Oh, it's the second highest paid media department in the NFL.
Second highest paid media department in the NFL.
People don't understand. They've got AI, whole teams of people using AI for leverage to check algorithms and to insert narratives into certain algorithms. This is how Trump won the election. This is how politicians have been able to win victories, because they understand the algorithms using AI, and then they control it by inserting narratives. They create narratives. Oh, this one, we want to go in this direction. Let's float out 3 or 4 things and see which one catches flame, so we can it's how do you think they do like personality management, image consulting? It's all the same stuff. People have no clue how powerful these agencies are.
Right.
And so when you put a term like monster for a football coach who hurt some people's feelings, think about that. That's reserved for somebody who's eaten people, killed people, done something really horrible to children. But somebody
Absolutely.
out there is saying he's a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's a jerk off. Maybe he was a jack. I had a coach when I played. He hated me. He was a white running back, and he was the running back coach. And he hated me because I was white, and he wanted to have all the glory. He was a jerk. He wasn't a monster. He screwed up my career. But was he a monster? No. But football's full of these guys. I had a drunk Irish coach that one guy who was a UDFA blew his knee out, and he said, "Get that garbage off the field." People have no clue what goes on in football, the kind of people there. This is it's like almost military.
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to mention military too, because as you know, I had work in PsyOps and in the military. And basically, you know, a lot of these, all this programming that you're getting through the media, the national media, not whether it's news, you know, your national news channels, you know, and things like that, not just sports, like you mentioned politics and things of that nature. Do you know where they get who the advisors are to those people behind the lines? PsyOps.
Split. Oh yeah.
Military psychological operations advisors. That's where they're getting a lot of their information from. So,
wait, I got a great quote for you. Hold on, let me find this quote. It's I put it on my podcast. I should have it memorized, but my memory is not as good as it used to be. Oh, I don't have it, but I think I remember it. Edward Bernays, the guy I was talking about.
Right. Yes.
Propaganda is the invisible arm of the government.
Yes. There you go. And that's why I brought that up.
Oh yeah.
You're 100% correct. But moving on.
We don't have many people. I think we scared people off.
No, we're good. We're good. I see Bandito, El Bandito is in. I appreciate you joining tonight. Cap is still in there. Adrian, Finn's TV, appreciate all of you joining. So I wanted to talk a little bit about now the upcoming game with the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, I know. I've heard so much talk about, you know, we're gonna. I was listening to a podcast today. I just happened to tune
Somebody
into
said
it.
we were gonna win.
They said they think we're gonna win. That Atlanta Falcons are not that good. Bijan Robinson, you know, he didn't have a good game the other night, and all this kind of stuff. And Michael Penix is not a good quarterback, and their defense isn't that good. They got a really good defense.
How is Young? How is the kid we just played? Are they really good quarterbacks?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, what are you talking about? Everybody we play, it's all about matchups, man. It's all about personal matchups, right?
Don't tell me who they are. You're gonna spoil my image of them. So don't even tell me who's saying that.
I won't even say that, but I'm not gonna. I don't usually put out the names like that, but I had to put out. I
don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I had to put out Omar Kelly's name as far as the beat writers go, and there's others as well. I'm not gonna, limit it to him. There's others as well, but
there's some really good ones too.
There's some really good ones, and
I love David Hyde.
I love David Hyde. I like Alan Poupard's good, pretty good. There's some others that I'm not too fond of.
I like Poupard. I think he hates a little too much, but whatever. That's all right. Yeah, I disagree with me. I'm married. I know what disagreement is in getting along with somebody. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like his work. I like his work.
I do. I just mentioned Omar Kelly because he was the easiest, because he's always I don't know, man. He kind of goes with the wind, He goes wherever the wind goes.
He used to be the guy who would say the things that needed to be said and be the contrarian.
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore.
I still like him, but I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I would be a hypocrite if I told you I didn't read some of his stuff because I do. And in fact, what do you think? What do you think about this idea, Curtis? Once, let's say Miami blows it up, you think they ought to blow up some of the beat writers as well? Because they've been around a long time too.
Look, you know what it is? I feel so. I like being honest, but I would never have gotten this far if my sponsors weren't paying me, because I couldn't do it. And what I usually do isn't clicky stuff. I've had to fight. I put like 60, 70 hours a week in to get my content out, and I've built it up over 4 or 5 years. I'm almost at 10 grand, but they got me started. They invested in like advertisement stuff that got me to catch and all this. There's people out there like, TD and Dudley Durong. They started from nothing, they built up, but they did it before the Iron Fist came over. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy gig now. Even when I started 4 years ago, they were 80% of the cover guys weren't here. And so it is brutal. But then if you take it towards, I'm getting paid big money by a big paper, it's very, very difficult. But on top of that, you're bound by access. If you're a beat writer and you're not getting access, you're done. And the Dolphins are saying, oh, let's restrict access if you don't say. They had to report things they didn't believe were true in 2013 with Bullygate. But the biggest that's the biggest problem is that media is supposed to be the fourth estate. They're supposed to keep the powers in check. But somewhere, just like with all NFL, they have become beyond control. Look what they did with Gruden. Look what they even did over and over again. Players, they got too much power, too much control. They're beyond being checked. And then the owners are the same way. So you can't have old style journalists who would be a jerk and question everything because they're just going to get canned and locked out.
And that's the key. You're right. They get locked out. They lose that they lose their badges. They lose the access. And once they lose that, they're done. Like you said, it's over with. What are they going to report on? Right. But I mean, they can, but it's not like being, in the trenches with the players and the coaches and things like that. So,
and then once that happens, good luck trying to find another gig.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's so few of these gigs around.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a house, you got a house, you got a mortgage, you got kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can
it's not fair. Yeah. It's not, the whole thing's not fair.
It isn't. So I kind of understand when, they have to tread the line a little bit, and everything. So I get it. But anyway, whereas we don't have to do that here.
No.
So that's what I like about this. But let's go talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit about the upcoming game with the Atlanta Falcons. Look, the Atlanta Falcons, to be honest, we've got 4 big games coming up, right? I mean, and you're playing the Falcons, you're playing the Ravens, you're playing the Commanders, and there's one more. I can't remember who it is now that we're playing, but there's 4 tough games coming up, and we're 1-6.
We're not winning. We're not winning anything. The only thing we're doing is screwing ourselves out of a top pick. Yeah. So then, if that's the case, do you think that we're tanking? Do you think they're legit? Oh yeah, I think. Yeah, the plan was to tank.
Yeah,
it had to be. I mean, Greer went into the season, was told he can't spend. We had all UDFAs at cornerbacks, and everyone's saying, "Oh, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine." 1 to 2% of UDFAs make it on a team every year. We got 3 cornerbacks of UDFAs. Like, what's the chances of that? You got Borum, you got Jackson, you bring back Eichenberg. Mm-hmm. Daniel's coming off an Achilles.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall.
Waller, with Julian Hill and Tanakana. I mean, I don't think they did Hill to go down, but what difference was he wasn't even making that much of a difference anyway.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't making much of a difference.
No corners, no real safeties.
Yeah, and then you had rookies on the defensive line. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, what did they think these guys are going to be all pro their first first year,
which is fine.
I
But
mean,
they hyped. We're gonna where'd the hype come? It was like a swell. Like, yeah, we're gonna do it. It's all. I had people telling me on my chat, it's our year. This is it. Like, what? You know, like what's the odds?
Exactly.
You know, but that came from
Exactly.
some. Like if they had
Exactly.
said, look, we're cutting the purse strings. We're going bare bottom. This is what it is. Expectations would have been different around McDaniel. They purposely hyped the expectations around McDaniel and Tua and this team. It's like they actually put him high up to pull the freaking rug out underneath them. And you could see we struggled against second teamers in preseason. And it still wasn't like people was like, oh, you know, who would, you know, like if that level hadn't been raised, then their fall wouldn't be so high, the outrage wouldn't be so high, and the focus would have been more on Greer and Ross. But because of all this, because of the way it's been built and dropped, it's all on McDaniel and Tua and a little bit on Greer, and Ross is in the background. Perfect. And you get your first round draft pick. So you can can the whole thing, get everybody hyped about a rebuild and the big first round pick to get the quarterback who'll save everything. And Greer will slink again into another incarnation along with Ross, and then we'll be on the Hopium train 17.0 going into the offseason. And in 3 or 4 years, we'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You know, there where did I hear this? I heard some talk. It's all rumor, but I heard some talk that who was it? I forgot who it was now. But I heard some talk that Ross might be handing the team over to somebody or selling the team. I can't remember who it was.
I think from Al from 3 Yards Per Carry, who's just, I like Al. And he's very knowledgeable. He said it's going to be a legacy thing where he hands it off to his daughter. So he might be saying, you know what? Let's strip this whole thing down. Either A, get a top pick to get the quarterback, and then if I sell it, it makes it worth more. Or if I hand it off to my daughter, I'm giving her the best opportunity.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I mean, I think that's more inclined to happen than that rumor that I heard about.
F1 makes too much money to sell it. The only reason the only reason you would sell it is to make money because it's it's like, you know, I want to get out. But it's still going up in value, and he's making hand over fist from F1. It would make no sense. It's a legacy. His daughter's taking over.
Yeah. Well, let's hope his daughter is smart enough to run the operations better than he had, you know. So, but I don't know. He may live to be 100. We may never ever see that.
Hopefully, I don't want to see the guy die. I
don't either. I'm not saying that either, but
I really think at one point he wanted to win, but he just screwed it up so much. Yeah. And then F1 came into play, and then he was just like, all right, let's just do the hustle now. I can't win. I can't get real guys in here. I'm making money. Let's just make the fans happy every 2 years, and then let them feel bad for years and then happy, you know, whatever.
Yeah. So he just gonna spend money on the second highest paid NFL media department to keep the train going, you know, and that's what's happening. I just hope fans realize that. And I don't think there's going to be any kind of changes, as you said, you know, until after he either sells the team, which the chances of that happening, I don't see it, or he turns it over to his daughter, and his daughter and her husband are in charge, and hopefully maybe they can turn this organization around. You know, just because it's his daughter doesn't necessarily mean she's going to run it the same way that he does, you know, and also it doesn't mean that she may keep the team. She may just say, you know what, I don't want this headache, I'm going to sell it. So until that happens, I mean, you know, I don't have a crystal ball.
You got to have some hope. You got some fair hope.
Yeah, you got to have some hope, you know. You really do.
What the hell's the sense?
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, coming up, I know we keep deterring from the next game coming up. But so what do you think, Curtis? You think
we lose?
Yeah, I think we
They're going
lose
to run
too.
all over us. They got a good offensive line. They got a pretty
Yep.
decent tight end. They got some receivers. Penix can play. He's gone against some
Yes.
good teams and won.
Yes.
And they're just going to, Bijan's just going to run all over us. The defense is good enough to give us fits. I mean, just look at Jonah and Strange.
Jeez.
Two worst guards in the league.
That's crazy, man. Did you it was a good throw by yours too. Did you see that throw he made?
Oh yeah.
With the guy in his face? You know where that came from, right? They came from Jonah Sevaniah. Did you see him get pushed back? He looked worse than Eichenberg back there, man.
I mean,
he got driven back about 5 yards and he flew up in the air back about 2 yards. That's crazy.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, I just don't understand it, man. And they get up there on the podium, Butch Berry, and these guys are developing.
Trust in Butch Berry and trust in Butch Berry.
And trust in Butch Berry. That was the thing going on for a while. And
BS narrative. I'm sorry, Liam. Look, I'm sorry, Liam. I'm sorry, Austin. And Butch Berry, we trust. How much BS narratives? Where do these things come from? How do they gain so much steam? It's just like, and it's always just to keep pushing the thing along. Notice?
Yeah, it is.
It's as if that's the purpose.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it is. But yeah, I don't think they have a chance in hell against the Atlanta Falcons.
No.
Maybe they'll prove me wrong. I don't know. Maybe I still have that little bit of hope. I don't know. But man, it's just so hard, man. It's hard for me to get up here and talk about this Miami Dolphins football team because a lot, and I'm not giving myself a pat on the back, but and you rightly so as well, Curtis. You've been saying a lot of things that are coming to fruition right now. I know I've said on this show a lot of things that are coming to fruition, and people thought I was crazy. I was negative, and I didn't know what I was talking about. I don't know about football and all this, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you have
the thing for me? It's. I cover the Dolphins, and I was an all teams kind of guy, but I had to just through energy focus just on the Dolphins to cover this thing. But now that all my major theses have kind of been proven, and I want to stay sane, I'm still covering the Dolphins, but I'm going to start doing more just football stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'll never stop doing the Dolphins, and my main component to why I still love to cover the Dolphins and I have to cover the Dolphins is because this is such a critical stage, and we've got to get fans, whether you like Tua or you don't like Tua, whether you like 100%. McDaniel or don't, you've got to be unified that Ross has set up a corporate structure that's been screwing us. Greer sucks, and there's only one thing that we'll accept: a GM outside the building. Now, they might not come here, but if we hire from within, we don't get the best GM, and Ross and his cronies are still interfering, we're screwed. So we got to be unified on that. We've all got to say together, look, I like Tua. I think he could have done better. I don't like Tua. I think he sucks. Oh, I think he's the greatest thing ever. He's been held. Whatever. Who cares? That is leaves on the tree. If we're not unified together to hold Ross's feet to the fire, and at least if he doesn't do the right thing, he gets heat for it, and we're unified, then he gets the hustle. He gets the slam dunk, and it's going to suck big time. Might be a little bit better, but ultimately we'll be back. It's one opportunity, or the rest of this decade's lost.
Well said. And I agree. And I feel the same way. I have my feelings, and a lot of folks that watch, this show, they know how I feel about Tua Tagovailoa, but forget about how I feel about it. Right. Whether you like him or you don't like him, whether you, as you said, you like McDaniel, you don't like McDaniel, or whatever. We cannot focus just on the coach and the quarterback of this football team. And I think a lot of that, and I'm at fault myself by focusing more on the quarterback, and I know other folks are focusing more on Mike McDaniel. They think he's the biggest problem, or Tua is the biggest problem. They're pointing fingers, at each other, at Tua or McDaniel. But where the real problem lies, and you hit it on the head, and is Greer. in Ross. It starts Ross and Greer. That's what the fans of this Miami Dolphins football team should be focusing on. Okay. If we don't get that at the top fixed, the front office fixed, and the coaching fixed, it doesn't matter who's on this team as players or a coach.
Nope.
So I agree.
And
with you
and if you fixate too much on not the prime movers, then Ross and Greer will slip on by again. That's how they do it.
Exactly.
That's why they create the narrative that Flores has dead bodies in the basement. He's a monster.
Yeah,
it's why they create the narrative that Fangio is a grumpy, nasty old man who forgot how to coach. It's why they're creating the narrative that Tua is a total idiot. He sucks. He's a choker. And not to say that none of these guys are, but it's an accentuation of the reality. But that same accentuation never hits Ross, who's had crazy faux pas that even it's unprecedented in the league. And Greer is the most inept GM in the history, but for some reason, this guy hasn't had his day. He's never been to Flores Lane, and he's here 10 years.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Well, Curtis, I think we had a great conversation here, great discussion on the Miami Dolphins football team. Talked about, the loss. I mean, what else can you say? It's really hard to say anything positive about this team right now. Hopefully, maybe we win some games, in the next few weeks or whatnot, and we will have a little.
That's the worst case scenario.
It is. I know. But I mean, we got to shine the light on something positive, Maybe Jonah 7-9 improves a little bit. Maybe Kenneth Grant gets a little better. Something. We got to have something tangible that we can grab a hold of and say, okay, that's a positive. So, hopefully it is. It's a sad state of affairs right now with this football team. It really is. But anyway, I want to thank you again, Curtis. You always bring up great points. I always like to have you on here because you're always, you're always pointing out, you see things that a lot of folks don't see, right? Including myself. I learn a lot every time you come on here. I learn something. So I appreciate having you on here, and we'll have you on again for sure. I know that for sure, and I want to thank everybody that was in the chat tonight.
Listen to my mad rants. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, listen to my mad rants as well. Listen to us putting up with both of us, right? But we're only want the best for this Miami Dolphins football team, and we want the best for the fans. And hopefully someday we'll be there. Again, I don't think we have a chance of beating the. Well, we have a chance, but I really don't think we're going to beat the Atlanta Falcons.
Hell.
Yeah.
Where's the chance?
Do you have a score prediction, Curtis, before I let you go?
27-17.
27-17.
I suck at it, though. It could be anything. I suck at it. I just think we're going to lose.
Yeah, I do too. But I'm going to say I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say 31-13. Atlanta Falcons win this game, 31-13. Curtis, where can they find you, brother?
Ace per head at YouTube. I did some good podcasts this week. I think I did a music video of the Dolphins. Okay. So to start my latest podcast, I did some good stuff this week. So come check me out. I'm at YouTube, Ace per head. You'll see Curtis at Ace per head. Come check me out there. I do the Twitter thing on occasion, but really just a YouTube thing for now. Oh, I also write for finsnews.com. So you can come check me out. I do articles and stuff there along with Jimmy Bourbon. It's not his real name, I don't think. But he I do stuff over there. So come check us out there.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Curtis. And for everybody else, thank you very much for joining tonight. Same time, same channel next week. We'll see you then. And hopefully we'll have some good news about the Miami Dolphins.
Thank you, everybody.